You are now tuned in to the Dads Who Lift podcast. Please give us a like, share, subscribe to the YouTube account. We are on www.dadswholiftofficial.com. All the podcast links are in there. We also have an apparel line. We're on IG as Dads Who Lift Official handle. We're on Facebook, Dads Who Lift Podcast. We also have a Dads Who Lift fitness group on Facebook that's Dads Who Lift Official. A group of 30,000 like-minded dads that are just trying to be their best selves and staying fit. If that's something you're into, please check it out. But we do this stuff for free, guys, so please give us a like, share, 5-star review. We really appreciate your support.
Are you a little bitch?
Are you a little bitch?
Are you a little bitch?
I like it. Are you a little bitch?
Are you? You are now tuned into the Dads Who Lift podcast. You have your host, Tyler Gata.
Oh, we're going?
Yeah?
Spring it on me.
What? Are you a little bitch?
Co-host Joel Staley. Are you a little
That's
bitch?
what we were just talking about. No, I'm not a little bitch. All right, so we're supposed to have a guest today that flaked out on us. Shit happens. I'm not going to say his name, but I was listening to some. We'll probably have him back on, hopefully, if he comes through this time. And but he had a great story, and it was all about this guy. He's a financial advisor. You know, his dad was a financial advisor. He's a financial advisor. You know, he gets married. He has kids. You know, the whole life's going good. Business is going good. The whole deal. Then his father-in-law gets pancreatic cancer. Going through that with his father-in-law. Then he finds out at 39 that he has brain cancer with 3 kids under the age of 5. And it kind of changes his whole world and flips his whole world upside down. So I'm listening to the story this morning driving in, and actually got me a little emotional. Like that hits home with me. You know, I have a 10-year-old son. I'm a single full-time dad. His mom's not around. She's not in the picture. So why that hits home with me is because, like, if something were to ever fucking happen to me, my son doesn't have anybody. You know what I mean? It's not like he's got a mom to fall back on or anything like that. So I think that's why it hit home so much for me. And his whole deal was financial planning and making sure that, you know, your children are set up and your family's set up if something were to ever happen like that, so that you can not worry about the money aspect and actually fight through it. I want to take it. That's where he's going to take it. And like I said, we'll probably have him back on at some point, but I want to take it in a different route. And we also have a buddy that just had a cancer scare too, that's young as well. And we were actually talking to him this morning, and he doesn't have cancer, thank God, which is a great thing. But it just gets me thinking of the bigger picture, man, and like what the fuck really matters in life. Like, people get so stuck up on these mundane daily things that really don't fucking matter. I mean, it's like, you know, we have, if you're a business owner, or even if you just have a job, I mean, everything's through email now. Everything's, you know, text message, email. I mean, I probably get a few hundred emails a day, you know, probably at least 100 calls and texts a day. And it's like, to spend your whole day deciphering all that shit and going through it all, people just get so caught up in that daily, like, routine of like, all right, this is what I'm doing. This is what's important. And you'll even find yourself, and I find myself at times, like, you know, putting off your children, like, oh, give me a second, bud, I got to reply to this email. Oh, I got to finish this workup. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. We've had Caleb Moran on too, that his son almost died, you know, and that's you hear these stories, and it's like, when life is on the line, when something bad happens, that's what everybody says, is like, it puts life into perspective. You know, it's like, none of that shit matters anymore. It wasn't a big deal if I got that one last task done, you know, like, it wasn't worth the time I'm sacrificing not being there for my son or for my family or anything like that. And this is like, this topic I take with a grain of salt, because it's tough, especially if you're trying to build something. I know firsthand, you know, building a company, raising a child by myself. I mean, I raised my son from 2 years on till 10 now by myself. And it's tough. I mean, you have to grind. If you want things, you want a better life, you want to chase things, you have to grind. But it all comes down to that, I guess, that balance and that perspective. And I think as long as you have the perspective in mind of what truly really matters to you, then it's easier to keep that balance in mind. You know what I mean? But we were kind of bullshitting about it this morning pre-podcast, and our podcast producer, says how do you get that perspective, or how do you live that life without having something like that happen? Like, how do you have that perspective and not waste your whole life? Like, say you're in your 50s and you get brain cancer or something like that happens, and then you're lucky enough to beat it, and at 50 years old, from 50 till maybe you live till 70 or 80, then you lived a purposeful, purpose-driven, great life. But up until 50, you didn't have that perspective. You basically wasted a lot of fucking time on shit that doesn't matter, and it's like, how do you get that perspective pre having something bad happen, or having something bad happen around you or in your circle or whatever, because it seems like whenever bad shit happens, that's when people always open their eyes, so how do you open your eyes beforehand?
I don't know. There's that Chris Rock joke where it's like, people always say, live like you're going to die tomorrow. And then they never end up dying tomorrow. So it's tough, because I know personally for myself, I like to work because it's my purpose. I feel like I'm doing what I've been put here to do on multiple levels, between helping people hit their fitness goals, and now I'm training like my sales team to get people to take action to help hit their fitness goals and change their life, which when they close a deal, they're on top of the world. So when I can help them get better at that, that's what I'm spending most of my effort on right now. I mean, that's when I'm in my zone. I feel like I'm really making a difference. And then I, of course, don't want that to come out of my time with Kennedy and my wife, but then like I'll go down and then we're just watching Coco Melon on TV for like 3 hours. I got the same songs on repeat. Like, I want to be there present. We're playing on the ground here and there when she's paying attention to me, but there is a part of me like, man, I still have these last couple things to do. If I snuck away, no one's going to notice. They're not even paying attention. I'm here. So it is definitely a dichotomy of, I don't want to take away from time with the family, and I also don't want to take away time from doing what I feel is my true purpose for being here, aside from being with my family. So it is tough.
Something I was thinking of when you were saying that, I think this is the fix to it, really, to living a purpose-driven life, or the bigger picture is knowing what truly matters to you. And I know we've said that a shitload on this podcast, but I think that's really the truth. And like, if you know what really matters to you, then you can focus on that. And you're going to have shit that truly matters to you for work, like your passion. Like you said, you love helping people, changing people's lives. You're doing your passion. You're doing God's will. You're doing things that help others, what helps you, makes you feel good about yourself, gives you purpose and drive. But there's a lot of people in life that, just go to a job that they don't give a fuck about every day, and they're not following their passion. They might have a job that they don't give a fuck about, and they let that consume their whole life, take over the kids, take over the family.
I'd say that's one of the first problems, one of the first areas to look at.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Most people stay at their job because they think, okay, this is as good as I can get, and they don't even venture out and look for other avenues to explore.
Right.
So how would someone say you work at a bank? Right. Well, actually, it's funny. Say you're a financial advisor, because that's funny when you said that. Every financial advisor I know, his dad was a financial advisor, and like his dad was a financial advisor. It's like generational, which I never quite got. I know like most guys are like, my dad did that, I want to do something better. Mm-hmm. But so say you're a financial advisor, but it's just something you fell into. You were coaxed along that route, but your true passion is I don't know. Building stuff. Say you want to be an architect. Mm-hmm. But you're like, okay, well, I've already spent the last 10 years learning all this stuff. I'm good at my job. I make a decent living. But at the same time, your health is starting to deteriorate because you want to go home, eat fucking all the cookies, drink some beers, and you're just not happy. You're grumpy towards your family. So how would that person go about totally revamping their whole career?
I think you just have to have you can't let fear hold you back, and you have to pivot, and you have to believe in yourself and know that you can do it. I guess I'm not going to say every, but most successful person that I know that's say super wealthy or living a life that they truly believe in, a life that was filled by passion, or that they were doing what they were supposed to be doing, that help people. Most of those people pivot every like 10 years. I don't know why. It's weird. I don't know what the 10-year mark is. But it seems like you get to an area, you excel, there's no, you're at a pivotal moment in your life. Like you just feel like there's no more use for me here. I'm in one of those areas right now where I'm looking into getting into coaching. I've been in my business 11 years, and I just feel like I'm living this right now. I feel like everything that I've done, it's been great. I'm proud of it. But I feel like I'm at a point to where I'm not growing anymore in that field. I'm not growing anymore in that industry, and I have more to offer to the world and to people around me, which in return allows me to feel fulfilled. So yeah, I think fear is one of the biggest ones, is just that people are so scared that they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that they can do something. I'm not getting rid of my other companies. I'm just putting other people in place to, basically help run them, or to relieve some pressure from me so that I can go off and follow my passion in other areas. But I'll talk to buddies and they're like, why are you doing that? Or yeah, you better make sure that this really works out before you put this other person in place and, step away completely, or, whatever, things like that. And I'm like, dude, I'm not worried about it. I know that whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to succeed in. Like, I don't care. Like, even if I don't succeed in like that like that, say I go out and have a specific niche, that niche doesn't work out, then I'll fucking change it. Like, I'll find the niche that works out, and I know I'm going to succeed and accomplish what I set out to accomplish. So I think that's one of the biggest things, is that just people just don't believe in themselves enough to take that leap and invest in themselves to move forward. And it comes back to, I say it all the time, but it's like, we only have one life. You got one life. Do you want to live that life doing the same day-to-day tasks that you fucking hate every fucking day? I mean, you went through the same fucking thing. You had a great job. You liked the people around you. You made great money, but there was just something inside you that wasn't on fire, and I feel that. I know exactly what you went through. I know exactly what you're talking about. There's just something that's just not, you don't feel alive inside. It's like every single day, it's just the same fucking thing. Same fucking problem, same fucking process, same fucking deal. Doesn't matter how much money you make. Like, I could give a fuck less about how much money I make. If I don't like doing what I'm doing, I'm not going to spend the rest of my life doing it.
So if someone is working a 9 to 5, but they also have like a wife and 3 kids at home, so they can't really go to night school, or I don't know, maybe they don't have a big nest egg saved up that they can quit their job, which I didn't either, but I'm talking about something that you actually do have to go to school for and learn how to do, being an architect or culinary school. Say you want to be a chef or something like that. What are some steps they could take to get out of this, this area that they're headed towards being stuck in for the next 30 or 40 years?
I'm not good at this shit. I'm not good at these questions because I don't have like a step-by-step bitch boy process.
I don't either.
Well, I don't think there is a step-by-step bitch boy process. I think that's what I'm saying. It's like, do it. Get out there and do it. What? You don't have, like, get a fucking night job. I don't know what you need to do. Get a morning job. Get an afternoon job. Like, put yourself through school. Oh, I don't have the time. I don't have, whatever. It's if this is something that you believe in and what you want to do, you do whatever it takes to accomplish it. I don't know your circumstances. I don't know exactly what's going on in your life. So I don't know what that whatever it takes is. Like, it doesn't fit inside this box. You just have to do it. I think it all starts with mindset. But the whole point is where we're getting is not even like, I feel like it can start with your job. That's fine. But the whole point of the bigger picture is just figuring out what matters to you in your life. That might not even mean, maybe it doesn't even mean a specific job. Maybe you just want to have financial freedom. Maybe you want to make more money and be able to pick and choose your hours so that you can spend more time with your family. That's all right too. And then if you have a job that you make great money and you can pick and choose your hours and you get to spend time with your family, vacation wherever you want, live that life. I mean, everybody's lifestyle and dream is different. For me, what I'm talking about in the bigger picture is I can get so run down by these daily tasks that, we've talked about this before. Type A personality. I don't have a middle. I'm either in or out. I'm all in or I'm nothing. That's how I run my life. So I can get very run over by these things that I have to do, and that can take precedence without me even thinking about it over the things that truly matter in my life. And what are the things that truly matter to me in my life is my son, my family, God, my fitness, my health,
And this.
creating a family. Yeah. My drive, the podcast. I want to be able to help people. That's why I want to get into coaching, so that I can add value to people's lives and change people's lives. And I really believe that there's people out there that need what I have to offer, and that's what I want to get after. And so it's like, even right now, I'm trying to build my coaching program while still running full-time, running my other company. I haven't quite, I'm kind of transitioning my main guy into helping me out more and more, but I haven't, put him in place completely yet. And that's realistically probably going to be a couple year process to get him fully running the company anyways, little by little, to make sure that he can do what I'm doing. But I'm not going to let it fail. I'm going to make sure that my clients are still getting the same, service and product that they are now. But yeah, it's you get to this place where it's like you almost have to pick and choose. There's only so much time in a day, and it's like, do I put how much energy do I put here? How much energy do I put here? How much energy do I put here? One of those being my family and my child, and all I'm saying is it can very easily, with all the other stuff that I have going on and that I get caught up in, because I want to succeed. I want to win. I feel like a lot of times in a day, it's like, if I get these tasks done, then I had a successful day, and what I wanted to say too is it comes down to, we've talked about this too, is a lot of times limit your tasks. That's why they have Andy Frisella does the 5 power lists. Sometimes my daily tasks are 20 tasks long. Some days that's just not fucking feasible when I'm trying to be a good father and raise a kid by myself and have a family. Limit your tasks to 5 major tasks. And if you get those 5 major tasks done, then you won that day. You can move forward onto other things that matter in your life. And when I say the 5 major tasks, I'm talking business-wise, work-wise. And so, a lot of times I'll have, in my mind, I've got like 10 or 15 tasks to get done that day. And if I don't get those tasks done, then I feel like a failure. I feel like a piece of shit. Where, why did I have to get those 15 tasks done to win that day? Why couldn't I have taken an hour that day, taken my son to 88 Tactical and gone and shoot guns in the middle of the day, or went out and threw the football with him for an hour in the middle of the day? At the end of the day, when I'm reflecting on that day, is it like, oh, I got back to those 200 emails, so I won that day? Or is it like I spent time with my son that was true, meaningful time without my fucking phone, without any interruptions, without the TV, without the computer, without the Xbox, and me and my son built something that day, and we bonded, and that's why I won that day. That's what I'm saying about, when I'm, God forbid, if something ever happens to me, if I'm sitting on my deathbed and say I get cancer or something were to ever happen, you best believe the fucking emails aren't going to matter. I'm not going to look back at my life and say, God, thank God I responded to emails quickly. Thank God I got back to every manager right away. I'm going to look back at my life and look at the times that I spent with my son, my family, my friends, the way that I lived my life, the legacy that I left with people. Did I treat people right? Did I make people feel good? Did I live my life in love? Did I spread love? That's the shit that matters to me.
Hey, you know what I've recently started doing? This was good because I was telling you about Twitter comments earlier, and people, especially with politics. I just go into the comments and it's just so toxic. And you get people like, "Oh yeah, well, crooked Hillary belongs in jail," and they just comment. But this one like radical lady said something totally crazy, and this guy commented, he's like, "Hey, I hope you find some kindness in your day." And he just left a link for random acts of kindness on Yahoo. And that was nice. And then he said, like, "I love you anyways. Like, we might disagree, but I love you." Nice. And I was like, who is this guy? So he only had like 120 followers, but I watched the random acts of kindness video. It was like 10 minutes long of people just doing like, going way out of their way and being extra kind to people. And I was like, oh my God, dude, I want to watch this every morning just to kind of lift me up and remind me that even though we are in this crazy ass time, there are people out there, and I can only strive to be more like them, that they take time out of their day and just go above and beyond for someone in need of just a little extra attention or help. And I watched that and I was like, man, I want to start every day by watching one of these videos. And I've started, it's only been a couple days, but
I love that.
it just, it gets you on the right mindset of, instead of thinking, okay, today I have to respond to 100 emails. I got to go to the store, get groceries. And you just start racking up all the to-do lists. Now I've been thinking of like, all right, who could I just like surprise with a nice gesture today? Which is something you probably don't normally think about if you're not actively looking for it.
Right.
But I think that in and of itself.
Which is why you got Laurel a donut, not me.
Yeah, I know. That was my nice gesture to you. I know you got some goals you're hitting.
Yeah, no donuts for Fat Boy.
But yeah, it lets you know that what truly is important, because even it's hard to have a shitty day. I'll give you an example. The first one I watched this morning.
I'll say you can't have a shitty day if you're in gratitude.
You can't. So this kid was walking. He was barefoot. Like, come to find out, his parents were dead. He was homeless. And this guy just takes him, goes and gets him breakfast, pays for everything, gives him like $100. He's like, hey, this is to take a car to where you're going. And he's like, the kid's like, oh my God, thank you. He's like, this is to get you new clothes. He didn't have any shoes on, so they went and got him clothes and shoes. He's like, here's a couple more. I want you to call me as soon as you get there. Let me know you're okay.
Right.
And it's like, holy shit, man. Try having a bad day after just changing someone's life like that. That kid's going to remember that forever. Mm-hmm. You're going to be a saint in his eyes. Mm-hmm. So good luck having a shitty day. That could have
changed the trajectory of that kid's life.
For sure. He's thinking, fuck life. Why is this happening to me?
Yep.
My parents are dead. I don't even have shoes. I got nowhere to go. And then all of a sudden this kind stranger comes. He's like, oh my God, there's kindness in this world. Like, I want to be more like that guy.
Right.
I could change lives like he changed mine today.
Right.
So that's my challenge. Is if you are feeling like stuck, or even say you do have a job you hate and you're not at the point you want to leave it, or like you're just fed up with shit and you need some change, man, make it a challenge to just once a week go out of your way, do something kind for someone else to the point that they're like, whoa, where'd that come from? Mm-hmm. And try having a shitty day. It's not going to happen.
Right.
So I don't know. Shit makes me cry, man. I watched the first one I watched. I was like, Jesus Christ, man. I didn't know people were really like, there's really people this nice out there.
Right.
So
that's the thing with social media, man. We were talking about it this morning, but the fucking loud motherfuckers seem to be the shitty motherfuckers. You know, those are the ones that you always see on social media. The guys, you know, trolling or crying or, you know, commenting or saying shitty things to people. Like, those are the loud ones. That's what you always see. But there's a lot of good. There's more good out there than there is bad. I don't give a fuck. Like, there's still more good out there than there is bad. You just don't always see it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, be the good, spread the good. Another thing I'll say too is you can't, I've been thinking about this a lot lately and dealing with this a lot lately. You cannot, how do I say this? You cannot grow anything in your life from lack. Like, you cannot bring anything good into your life or positive into your life from a place of lack.
It's like you can't create abundance with a scarcity mindset.
Exactly. Like, you can't, if you feel like you're lacking in an area, it's almost impossible to bring abundance or goodness or growth into that area. You know what I mean? Like, not that that's like twofold.
What's an example?
Sometimes you got to feel like you're lacking a little bit to want to improve in that area. So it's kind of twofold. But if you sit there and say like, this will never come, that's like, you know, I'm not good enough for that. Then that's what will come into your life. Like, you have to be in a place. I truly believe that, like, if you really want to get somewhere amazing or have something come into your life amazing, you have to be in that place already. Like, you have to feel like you've already got it. Like, so for example, I'm starting coaching, right? If I come in to sell my coaching programs from a place of who the fuck is going to buy my program, what do I have to offer? Right? Like, if that's my mindset, I don't have anything to offer to people. You know, why would they spend their money for my program? Like, I might get like maybe one person that buys the program, but there's not going to be very many people that want to buy the program when I'm coming from a place of lack. And that goes to anything, like even people with relationships. You know, you hear it all the time. People are like, oh, I'll never find love, or, you know, I'm I'm just starting to think that I'll be single for the rest of my life. You know, it's like when you come from a place of lack like that, that's what's going to come into your life.
I have a great example. So speaking of you getting into coaching, here's one of the reasons I know you're going to kill it. There's multiple, but this is the one that is on par with the topic you're talking about right now. I was in it's called the 7-Figure Selling Facebook group yesterday by Cole Gordon. He was one of my coaches to help me start building my sales team, and he was the guy that really allowed me to start making sales and understand the Socratic method and like really hone in my sales skills. And I was in his Facebook group last night, and someone commented that you are never going to be able to sell anything that you wouldn't buy yourself. So people will find, like coaches will find that they'll keep getting the same, oh, it's too expensive, I can't afford that type deal. And those are the same coaches that when they see help, someone that can help level them up, they're saying that same thing to themselves. Mm-hmm. They're saying, oh, yeah, I can't do that. So if you are creating...
I'm not there yet.
If you're creating excuses not to level up and you're trying to sell people, like what person is going to invest in a coach?
It's not invested in themselves.
Who even can consider being a coach if they don't even value coaches enough to get a coach?
Right.
It makes no sense. So if you're a coach and you're one of the many, 95% of people that say, I'll just figure it out myself, I can do this, I just have to spend the time. And like, if you're not the type of person who even values a coach enough to get one for yourself, you're not going to see value in what you do, which is a coach, and no one's going to see that value in yourself if you don't see it. So really, you're just hindering your own
Plus,
growth.
I wouldn't have the mindset nor the tools to help people that I do had I not already hired multiple coaches in my life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's got me that through my business experience, life experience, you know, raising my child. It's just got me to a place to where I have a lot of value to give to people, you know, which is great. I love that. But that's the whole point. It's like if I come from a place of abundance when I'm selling my programs, and I 100% truly believe in my program, I do my program myself, and I believe that whatever I have to offer is going to change that person's life, which it will if they're my right client, that's going to sell 10 out of 10 times. You know, it's just a different way to look at things, but it all starts in my mind. Like, it all starts with perception. Yeah, the way I see things, the way I see life. And that's the same thing with like this this bigger picture topic too. You know, I've been thinking a lot about too, like, who do I gravitate towards? Like, not always, but who do I like to be around? You know, I like to be around fun, fucking happy, positive people, you know? And then I look at myself and I'm like, am I being who I want to be around? Am I always a fun, happy, positive person? Or sometimes am I like super serious and not, you know, not looking at the bigger picture, just stuck in like this topic of now? Like, no, it doesn't matter because right now I have to get this done, you know? And that's not who I want to be. That's not who I want to surround myself with. I was actually, there's a point to everything. It's all about balance. There's sometimes where you have to be serious. I'm not saying that I don't ever want to be serious, but I was watching a movie last night. What the fuck's that Harley Quinn movie where it's like just Harley Quinn? You know which one I'm talking about?
No
just
idea.
Harley Quinn. It's not the Joker, but it's like when she breaks up with the Joker, and it's all just about Harley Quinn. Birds of Prey. Yeah. It's a badass movie. It's like a chick power movie. It's a badass movie. But dude, she's obviously nuts in the movie, and it's just a movie, but she is so fucking like, dude, biggest like positive mindset, like always sees the good in everything and just happy, go lucky, bubbly about everything, no matter what. Even people trying to kill her, she's like, huh, you know, it's like, and it's obviously like she's psychotic. And, but it's funny. I was thinking about it last night. I was like, man, how cool would it be to just see the positive in every single situation, no matter what? Never see any negative. Just always, no matter what happened, just see the positive. Always look for the brighter picture, the greater good. Like, how different would life change? Like how much would life change? How different would life be if you could have that mindset?
Because I bet we both know people that are the opposite.
Oh yeah,
where they find their shit even when something good happens.
And I try to so I'm not like that normally. I have to condition myself to be in gratitude, condition myself to be to be positive. I'll get down on myself like anybody else. I'll see negative. I'll get stuck in negative sometimes. And then I have to actually consciously work to bring myself out of that, whether that means, list 5 things I'm grateful for, go through my positive affirmations, whatever it is. And then things end up getting better. But I was just like, man, how cool would that be? Even though she's fucking batshit crazy and psychotic.
I think it's one of those things you gotta practice.
But yeah, but I know some people that do, just see the positive and everything, and I admire that. It's great. So that's one of the things I'm trying to work on, is just staying more in the positive, more in the gratitude, and like you said, yeah, it is practice. I was thinking about this too. You went from not being able to not drink for like a couple days. I mean, you were drinking whiskey every night.
Yeah.
And I mean, so much to where you failed 75 hard a few times.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got a 30-day stretch of not drinking.
I haven't been drunk. I've had a couple beers here and there this year.
Forms a habit.
Yeah.
And now we go out to 88 Tactical. I guess we did have a few beers that night. But no one even got fucked up.
Right.
Like, I wasn't fucked up. You weren't fucked up. I think we had like 4 beers the whole night in like a 6-hour period.
Yeah.
And you weren't even going to drink. You were like, you going to have a beer? You're like,
take it and leave it.
Yeah. And I was like, let's get a beer. You're like, all right.
Right. I don't think I've had. But
it wasn't like it used to be. It used to be like, we go to fucking Twin Peaks and shots galore and beers,
tequila
and
shots,
food, and I mean, we're both like, fuck it. I don't want to say anything incriminating, but we're both like, we better get some Ubers on the way home. I mean, we were fucked up.
Yeah.
It's just it's different. I'm in the same place because I went through the period where I did 75 hard and I didn't drink either. So now it's like, are you going to drink? I could, I couldn't. I don't really give a fuck.
I find myself making a face now whenever I even think about drinking. I'm like, it doesn't even fucking sound good.
Yeah, and it's like, so I went out last Saturday night and had some drinks. And this is the first time I stepped out. Like, I actually went downtown. Fuck, dude, probably over a year for sure that I actually like went out. Like,
who are you with?
Clubs.
I was going to ask you about that.
Just a couple buddies.
Dan there?
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if that was him or not.
Mike Ripa.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a couple buddies.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah. And it was fun to get out. It was cool to get out. Like, I don't ever get out, so it's not like it's something that happens all the time. But the next day, hangovers still fucking suck. I was hungover. Did not stick to my meal plan because, like, who the fuck can eat 4,000 calories of chicken and rice when they're fucking hungover as fuck and their stomach's upset? Like, this ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Didn't stick to my meal plan, hungover as fuck. Didn't get to the gym. Didn't get my legs in, which I do legs every Sunday. And I'm like, this sucks. This is not even worth it. I mean, it's cool to step out, but this hangover sucks. This whole next day sucks. Even Monday was like, then if you're somebody that's on your meal plan consistently and you're in bulking season and you're pushing food, when you break that fucking food cycle, it's a motherfucker to get back on it. Like, Monday morning, I ate perfect again Monday, but Monday, slamming all that food in, like, my metabolism was shut down. My metabolism was fucked. I wasn't hungry. I was force feeding food all day long. My body's not used to so much protein, so I'm like dry heaving and gagging all day. It just fucking sucked. I mean, it's like, now I'm back on. Now I'm burning. I'm feeling good, but it just wasn't. It's like one night, you're talking like 6 hours of a little bit of fun and release for 2 days of fucking pain and anguish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've lost interest. It's kind of crazy.
But the point that I'm making is the habits. It's like you take Joel, that's an alcoholic that can't not drink whiskey for a couple days, and he finally stretches 30 days out, and now he's good. And that's the same thing with this bigger picture. That's the same thing with this perception. That's the same thing with being in gratitude. That's the same thing with being a positive person. It's the same thing with mindset. Moving forward in your life. It's fucking hard at first, guys. Like, it's going to be hard at first. It's going to feel off. It's going to feel weird. It's not going to feel normal. You're going to be like, why the fuck am I doing this? It's not worth it. It doesn't even feel worth it, But once you string along a good, 3-4 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, 28 days is what they usually say it takes to form a habit, then it feels good. Like, you're living this life and your whole perception can change. Your whole mindset can change. You'll start seeing yourself think thoughts and think like, man, no, that's not me. I don't think that way. People relate their thoughts to who they are, and that's not who you are. Just because you think something doesn't mean that's who you are. Just like when you eat a fucking hamburger, that doesn't mean you are a hamburger. You know, if you think a negative thought, that doesn't mean that you're a negative person. That's just a thought that you had come into your life, and you can change that thought through habits, and you can combat that thought, and you can sit there and go, no, that's not who I am. Everybody has negative self-talk, and my negative self-talk has gotten way better since I've started practicing all this stuff and believing in myself and growing in myself. But you know, there's certain times where, you know, I'll have self-doubt and I'll say, you know, who knows what it is? I've got this dream that's out there, and it's like, no, you probably can't do that. You know, like that's a thought that'll go through my mind, and I have to physically tell myself, or I guess mentally tell myself, no, that's not true. You're going to fucking do it. You know, you'll get this point where it's like, I don't know what it is. Whatever your negative self-talk is, if you sit there and combat it and say, no, that's not who I am. That's not what I'm going to do. That's not where I'm going. That's not who I am in this life. That's not where I'm heading. You tell yourself that enough, then the thought becomes what you're telling yourself. It stops being that negative talk, and it starts becoming what you've been telling yourself to combat that negative talk.
Yeah, once you find out that voice is just your little inner bitch voice and not your actual how you are perceived to the world and how you perceive yourself. That's just that guy that's, what's it called? Like the lizard brain that's always trying to get you to pussy out of shit.
I never heard that one.
So I want to say it's the monkey brain or the lizard brain. I think it's the lizard brain that is basically the one that's always like, if you're on a diet, oh, just have the piece of pizza. You've stuck to your meal plan all week. Just have and then once you realize, okay, sounds like I need to eat the pizza. Once you're like, no, that's that fucking little inner bitch voice. Dude, shut the fuck up, dude. No, I'm doing this meal plan.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest aspects. And that's why anyone who does my 90-day program, we basically tell them first week's hell week.
Yeah.
If you can get past hell week, the next 11 weeks are a done deal. That's the hard one. And that's because you go from one thing, the reason you signed up for the program in the first place, to like revamping. Because we could cut out soda for a week, then we could increase vegetables for a week, but then 90 days later,
hey man, you wouldn't be losing 50 pounds in 90 days.
Fucking 5 pounds. No, don't look at me.
Yeah.
So it's like you said, if it's 28 days to change a habit and then like 90 days to change a lifestyle, then it's going to suck a lot at first, but you just got to stick with it. And we talk about having a community there. That's big too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what this had to do with brain cancer, but a lot of good stuff, I feel like.
No, it was good, man. It's just my son is number one to me. My family is number one to me. People need to just figure out what really truly matters to them. That doesn't mean that you go fuck off everything else. But it's a whole perspective deal. You know, we had that guest on, I can't remember his name, a couple podcasts ago, the Family Man guy guest. He's a real cool dude. Anyways, he talks about like blocking out his time, and Caleb Moran does the same thing. And so he will block out his time every single day, and he'll say, all right, I'm awake from this time to this time. I've got this many hours in a day. What percentage of those hours is going to business? What percentage is going to leisure? What percentage is going to family? What percentage is going to God if you believe in God? And that's how he runs his day, you know, and he says that God and family are the biggest two, you know. That doesn't mean that you still don't bust your ass. It doesn't mean that you're not still a hard worker, that you're not a successful person, that you're not getting your 5 powerless items done. That just means that you're not letting something that's not as important run over into the time that is important.
Prioritizing.
Exactly.
That's key.
You know? So I think that's what it really comes down to, is just know what truly matters for you in your life and live a purpose-driven life to actually implement that and make sure that that happens. And there's certain things that, you know, in work, where when I was first starting my company, man, I thought like, if I don't get this stuff done today, my company's going to fail. I'm going to lose all my accounts. Like, if I don't reply back to this person right away, I'm going to lose, that manager's not going to hire me again. And what I've come to realize through doing business for 11 years is people, like I was setting that standard to them. I was letting them, like people would treat you how you allow yourself to be treated, right? So I was a little bitch, you know, like to a certain extent, like I was allowing them to run my time and my life. Like, oh, Tyler's going to reply back right away. He's always going to get back to me. He's going to email me back within 10 seconds. He's always going to, you know, reply back to a text within 10 seconds. And there's not anything wrong with being timely, but when you set that perspective of like, or that, you know, you treat people how to treat you and what they expect. And when they expect that, then they're going to disrespect your time because you're allowing them to. Like, they're going to run your time, they're going to run your life, and that's just what they're accustomed to. But when you change it and you start saying, like, you know, my meetings, I used to make anything, a manager would reach out and say, hey, you know what, can we meet up this week? Yeah, anytime's available, let me know. And I would make that time work no matter what. If I had to get an extra sitter, if I had to pick my son up later, didn't matter. That time
that's the standard.
Yeah, that ran my life. And now that's a standard. That's what they're accustomed to. Anymore, that's not how I am. That's not how I do stuff. I will still always get back to people. I still always answer my phone whenever I can. But when I have meetings or things going on, that takes precedence over anything else. And I will get back to you when I have time. And that's what's understood. And I've never once since I've implemented that, which I've been like that for years. Like I said, I've been in business 11 years, but that's not how I started. But since I've been like that, I've never once had a client come back to me and say, oh, well, you didn't get back to me within 10 minutes, so you're fired. Not once. They respect it, if anything.
Yeah.
No, I know you're busy. I know you're a busy guy. Thanks for giving me a little bit of your time. You know, like it's like they respect me more because I'm respecting myself and my time more. You know what I mean? People treat you how you allow them to treat you.
That's like, say, every time someone, your number one customer calls, you get on the first ring, hey, yeah, what can I do for you, Bob? Every single time for years. And then, okay, you have a family night. You're out with your family. Mm-hmm. And phone rings. It's across, say you're in the hot tub with your family, whatever. Phone's over there. You hear it ringing. Like, oh, Tyler's not picking up. Calls you back. You back. Now, the whole time, he's getting pissed because he's expecting you to answer first ring. Family's getting pissed because, like, hey, this is supposed to be family night. Either dad's on his phone over there talking and the phone keeps ringing. Nobody's fucking happy.
Yep.
Where people aren't going to respect your time. It's like we were talking about earlier.
Boundaries, man. That's what it is.
Exactly. If you don't respect your own time.
Exactly.
Enough to say, like, all right, I'll call you back.
So if you set boundaries on your life and you set boundaries on your own time, people respect those boundaries. And that's like... Boundaries are the weirdest fucking things ever to me because it's like, it's never explained. It's just something that's understood. You know, it's like, all right, this is how he operates. I still love, you know, it's not a bad thing is what I'm saying. That like, I still get back to people. I still deliver a great product. I don't let people go, you know, days or weeks without communication. I just might not get back to you right this second. And that's okay. Like, that's a boundary that I've set. I've got a kid, I've got a life, I've got multiple businesses going, I've got meetings, I've got shit. Like when I'm in this podcast, my phone goes into silent mode. I don't answer my phone when I'm in this podcast. If a manager calls me when I'm in this podcast, I call him back when I'm done or when I can. And I say, hey, was in a meeting. How can I help you?
This is funny. You know? So we were talking about, this is going to get personal, but I don't think Amy will listen to this, so I'll go ahead and air it anyway. But that's kind of why I said Amy was on one this morning, is because right now she's in this state of mind that if she just tells me to do something, that I'm supposed to like drop what I'm doing and go like, yes, master.
Yeah.
So, whereas if she said like today, for example, we're all on the couch, I'm drinking my coffee, just woke up, just sat down, about to take my first sip of like start the day.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, go make Kennedy breakfast. I was like, no. So what I really said, the Socratic method, asking questions. I was like, oh, are you taking her to school today? And she's like, no, you're supposed to. I was like, okay. Well, then why don't you make her breakfast and I'll enjoy my coffee and then I can take her to school. Whereas if she had just reframed it to, hey, Dad, will you make her breakfast? Oh, you're putting me in control? Yes, I would love to.
Yeah, I'd love to.
But I feel like as soon as it's, hey, Dad, go make breakfast. Okay. Oh, and then go empty the dishwasher. All right. And go pick up the poop. Like, no, I'm not going to just, you're not my boss. If you ask me, yes, I would love to make my little girl breakfast. I love to. But when you're barking orders at me, just for the simple fact of that, even if I was going to do it anyway, I will deliberately not do it now. So just, that's one thing. If people are barking orders at you, maybe until they reframe it into like a, hey, do you have time to, hey, will you get to this?
Right.
It's like, no, go fuck yourself.
Well, and that's another thing, man, with business and life and everything, something that I've realized, like I used to be so scared of people exiting my life, whether it be business, friends, relationships, whatever. I used to be so scared of like that loss, that just someone leaving my life or losing an account or whatever. And what I've found out is people will leave that need to leave. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully you're always growing and evolving. I'm always growing and evolving. There's been certain people that stay with me and grow with me through that whole thing. I mean, I've got friends that I've had for 14 years, known you forever too, and so there's certain people that'll stay along that journey with you and grow with you, but there's also people that are just there for that moment, that phase. Once you get out of that phase and you get past that phase in your life, you two don't suit each other and you end up exiting each other's lives, and it's not a bad thing. And what I've realized is that anytime anything exits, something else comes back in. There's never a drought. I might lose an account, gain one that better suits me, that I better suit them, because I changed and I don't suit that account that well anymore. But then one comes in that we suit each other even better. I might lose a friend and then another friend comes in that we have more things in common. We're at a better place in life to where we can relate to each other. It just seems like, that's that state of like lack, being in that state of lack. And that's why I really try to always, like right now, I'm just trying to really be in a state of abundance. I don't want to feel like I lack in any area of my life. I don't want to look at negative at any area in my life. Even if I don't have something that I want yet, I want to feel like I'm still in abundance about that area because I know that it's coming, But as far as the topic with bigger picture, I know we kind of went off on a few different tangents, but I feel like they were all good things, good perspective things, and people should be able to relate and get some good shit out of them. But the end of the day, man, my son's number one to me. My family's number one to me. And we've had podcasts like this before, but just this bigger picture, man, I just, when it comes down, God forbid that hopefully nothing ever happens to me, but say something would, when I think about that scenario, I just want to make sure that I can look back at my life and say that I have my shit in order. I have my priorities straight, and I gave most of my energy, or at least the energy that mattered, to the things that matter to me in my life. I don't want to look back and say, man, I created a ton of wealth. I created millions of dollars, but I wasted all my time on shit that I didn't care about. The money's like a twofold thing. One, it doesn't matter that much. I mean, I want to be rich. Everybody wants to be rich. One, it's not worth more than what matters to you. And two, if you actually, this is the funny thing about money, if you actually focus on what matters to you and follow your passion and you're good at it, I will say that more money will come than had you been that workaholic that didn't give a fuck about what he was doing anyways.
Trying to make more money, yeah.
Trying to make more money, yeah. Like if you actually follow your passion, you can make more money than that guy that just spends, 7 a.m. till 9 o'clock at night in the office doing something he doesn't care about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like there is a way to balance out your life and still make wealth, still make money, like what you're doing, add value to people, add value to the world, and still have your priorities in order and still care about the things that matter to you. Still be a good fucking father, still be a good family man, still be a good husband, brother, sister, son, whatever. You can still, it's attainable. There's people out there that have done it. It's just having that mindset, and hopefully people can take this podcast and use this to look at their lives and say, where am I focusing most of my time? What, if you were, all right, so write down what truly matters to you. Write down on a piece of paper like the shit, list 5 things that truly matter to you. The most important things in your life, write them down. Then write down where you put your time, like the majority of your time. Do those things line up? I bet you they don't. Like I bet for 90% of the people out there, they don't line up.
Yeah.
Because I bet in those 5 things, your job ain't one of them, unless you really, really, really love your job. For most people, out of those 5 things, what they're doing, their 9 to 5 is not one of them. But yet, the majority of their time is put into that. Again, I'm not saying that you don't work. Everybody has to work. I'm just saying be focused on what truly matters to you and try to put your passion and energy and love into that. Another thing too is like, say I do have 5 kids and I'm doing everything that I can to, times are tough. I'm working my 9 to 5. I'm doing everything that I can to keep food on the table. You can still be mindful and purposeful to know that what truly matters to you is your family. And you can still be mindful and purposeful to bring them the true, full you and love them when you're in their presence, opposed to I'm at work, I'm grinding my ass off all day from 9 to 5 or 9 to 7 or whatever. I'm pissed off. I'm grumpy. By the time I get home, I take it all out on my family. If you are stuck in that cycle to where right now, you're doing what you got to do to put food on the table and you have to, be in that job that you don't like, at least have the mindset to cut that shit off and give full love and attention to your family when you get home, because that's truly what matters.
Love it.
I'll leave it at that.
I like it. Do something kind for someone this week.
Do something kind. Yes.
It's your homework.
All right, guys. This has been the Dads Who Lift podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we added some value to your life, changed the same perspective, mindset. If we did, please give us a like, share, 5-star review. We grow this stuff organically. We don't have any ads. So we need you to tell one person. You tell a person, they tell a person, they tell a person. That's how we grow organically. And we continue to be able to add value and help people out. So we really need your support. Please do that. All the podcast formats, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Apple Music, all that shit is all on the website, www.dadswholiftofficial.com. We also have apparel, hats, sweatshirts, workout gear, www.dadswholiftofficial.com as well. We are on IG as Instagram handle Dads Who Lift Official. We're on Facebook as Dads Who Lift Podcast. We also have a group of almost like 40,000.
40.
Yeah, 40,000 guys now. It's blowing up. Like-minded dudes trying to be the best selves, best fathers, and stay physically fit at the same time. That group's called Dads Who Lift. Again, it's a Facebook group. Actually, it's called Dads Who Lift Official. If that's something that interests you, check that out. That's pretty much it, guys. Have a good day.
It's forever, this like forever, no surrender. It's forever, this like forever.
I bigger dead than alive, bigger dead than alive. I bigger dead than alive, dead than alive. Yeah, I bigger dead than alive, bigger dead than alive.